All right, let me share my screen. So, hello everyone. Welcome to today's session. My name is Varsha Vidwani and I'm from Bitsayo. Today we are going to talk about Splunk's role-based field filtering. The agenda for the day would be introduction with an overview and benefits and importance. We will look at the planning consideration followed with a demo. Then we will see few key use cases for RBFF, summary, best practices and suggestions, troubleshooting tips, and we will be closing the session with some Q&A. So in the context of a Splunk platform, roles let users perform actions. We can use roles to control access to platform resources like dashboards, indexes, apps, etc. When we configure role-based user access, we determine what permissions and capabilities that users have through the roles that they hold. So as users do not receive permissions and capabilities directly, roles connect users to how they interact with the Splunk platform. We can say that. We can assign roles to users to control the scope of the task that they can perform, the data that they can search, and the amount of resources they can access on the platform. Users can hold multiple roles, and each role gives the user specific access to resources or platform's actions as the roles define them. Roles do not take away access. So if you do not want a user to perform a certain function, then that user must not hold the role that lets them perform that action. Now, RBFF is a feature that enables administrators to control which users can see which fields in Splunk search results based on their role. It allows for field level security within Splunk, meaning sensitive fields can be hidden from users who don't have permissions to view them. Even though they might have access to the data itself, they'll not be looking at the fields. Few of them, we can apply filters. Field filters control visibility of data within events by redacting or obfuscating confidential information, such as the PII or the health information related to a customer. um, when users who are not exempt from the field filters run searches, so they can be stopped from viewing these fields. For example, a security admin might be allowed to view all fields, including the IP addresses, the login network details, etc. However, a marketing analyst might only need access to specific fields like the event types or customer IDs, but not any sensitive fields like internal IPs or user specific information. Now, why we use role-based field filtering? Certain data fields can be sensitive or confidential, like customer information, PIA or PHI. They may have some credit card numbers, financial information. If these fields are visible to users without proper authorization, it can lead to privacy concerns or even regulatory violations. Many industries require the strict access controls on sensitive data to meet the GDPR or HIPAA or any other, data protection regulations. So RBFF would help you meet these requirements by preventing unauthorized access to the sensitive fields. Another main reason could be the optimization of user experience. So field-based access control can limit the clutter. So users see only fields that are relevant to their roles, which would make search results cleaner and more focused. um, let's say as an example, again, like the admin would be able to see all the fields, but any other, let's say the market, we read about the marketing analyst, he would be limited to only few fields and not the network related, IP related information. Next is the planning consideration. So, field filters are a powerful tool that can help many organizations protect their sensitive fields from prying eyes, but it not might be a good fit for everyone. So, there is a limitation. If your organization runs a Splunk ES, or if your users rely heavily on commands that field filter restrict by default, T-stats, M-stats, M-preview, type ahead, walklex, etc. Do not use field filters in production until you have thoroughly planned how you will work around these restricted commands. So before you configure field filters in your organization, carefully plan how you want to implement field filters in the environment. We can start at the highest level, like we can decide which indexes you want to protect, and then we can work the way down to host, sources, source types. We then consider the fields you want to restrict, the field values you want to assign to those fields, or the roles that you want to exempt it from the field filter. So we need to we need to be planning these implementation of the field filters very carefully in the environment. Let's look at the scenario. So imagine you work in a healthcare field and have a field that keeps track of patient's phone number. Because the field contains sensitive information that you don't want to make it visible to the majority of the staff, you created a field filter for phone number that would replace the value for the field with SHA 512 hash for privacy reasons. But your senior support staff who need to contact patients to troubleshoot issues would need access to that field data. So what would you do is you would exempt their role from the field filter. Let's look at how we would do that. Before we start the demo, how RBFF works. So firstly, to enable the field filters on the Splunk web, the version should be 9.1.2 and above. For Splunk Cloud, we need to request the help from the Splunk support. Then to enable the field filters, we have to make some changes in the configuration files. We will see how we do that in the demo. Any questions so far? Okay. So before we would implement, enable the field filter, it would come under users and authentication. So I am using two demo environments. One, I would be implementing the field filters using Splunk Web, and another I would do the same using Splunk CLI. Just a minute. Yeah. So yeah, I'll be following we will be looking at both the CLI and the web version of how do we enable the field filters. So like I said before, before enabling it, you won't be seeing anything under users and authentication. But after you enable, you would see something in the field filters in the under the users and authentication section of the settings. So how you would enable it is in the etc system local. In the etc system local, we will be looking at two files which would be helpful here. One is the limits.conf. So in the limits.conf, we will add a search stanza and add fields filter, set the field filters value to true. That is one thing. Another thing would be to enable the web part, to enable the web for field filtering, we will create a file webfeatures.conf in the local and add this stanza feature fields filter, enable field filters UI as true. We would require a restart, which I already have done. And after the restart, my system would look, the field filters will be enabled in the settings section here. So directly, we would be able to enable the field filters on the indexed fields. So there are two options here. One, you can directly select the field type as indexed and give the indexed field here. We will see how it is done. And the other part is you can select the field from raw data, like it is appearing if your field is coming from the raw data. Mostly we do this indexed extractions while setting up the props. So at that time also we have to enable the field type as raw and give the regular expression to capture the group and then replace it with some other expression. So we will see both sides of it. So let's create a new field filter. First, we will see for the indexed data. So let's look at I'll give it name let's say for source, I want to hide the source value, the source name of the data that is coming into Splunk from some restricted users. So I'll name it as source filter, description. Target index. So I'll consider, let's say, there is a healthcare index that I had captured a sample of logs from Splunk itself, like Splunk examples itself, and we will set the index. Now limit type, you can either put a limit based on host, source, or source type. We can do one at a time here. So I'll be selecting the source type here, and the source type name is healthcare underscore log. Now, since we are first looking at the field type indexed, I'll give the indexed field name as source, which would come here by default. So, second. So here we can see the index value as the source value is coming as patient data.txt. This is just an example. So this is how basically we would be setting a field filter on the indexed fields. Now, moving on to next. Now, how would you want to replace the string that you are filtering? Either you would delete it. So if you select delete, it would be totally deleted from the logs, so you'll not be able to see the source. The restricted user will not be able to see the source name at all. If you want to replace it with a string like XXX or something else, you can replace it from there using this option. If you want to if you want to replace the field with some hash value, you can select these two options. Let's select the delete replacement method and put on next. Now, next is to exempt the role from filter. So by default, Splunk would apply the filter to all roles that are there on your environment. Now, if you want to exempt any role, you have to select it, which should be some highly trusted role. So be careful about choosing it. I have exempted the role user. So currently I'm logged in as user as the admin. Sorry. So I have exempted the admin user here. Next. These are the settings I had done, and I'll select create. Now, after we have done that, we have to do a debug refresh, or we would do a restart. So let's do a debug refresh first. Mm. Since for most of the Splunk cloud users, we have to do everything via web. But to enable the field filters, we have to request Splunk support for the same. But once it is enabled, we can add the filters from the UI directly. So that is why this is the first method that I wanted to share with you guys. And the another would be from the CLI. So we will be also looking at that. Hope it's all good till now. So let me know in case of any questions. Debug refresh. Okay, okay, okay. Now let's go back and let's look at the data again. So yeah, healthcare index. And since I am an admin user, I am able to see the source. Before I also like created these exemptions or the field filters, I already created a role that is a restricted role. I created two of them, and two users also I have created for this demo purpose. So I'll be logged into the user, which would have this restricted role, or the another was this staff role. So I'll be logging into the user account, like Marcus. So let me log out, log in again. See, since I deleted the field, like I chose the option delete, it is not at all showing the source indexed field. So if you would be selecting, if you would be replacing the indexed fields with some other value. So for host, I had already done, I masked it with the, SHA 256. So it is showing me the hashed value of the host name here. So these are two methods. You can also replace it with some string. So why, if you replace it, that replaced string would appear here in case of it. So this was one thing, like for the indexed one. And then I also have these data. For example, I would be next targeting the patient name. So currently I'm able to, this user Marcus is able to look at the patient name, which is Olivia Taylor, and I want to hide this name um, from the logs that appear into his account, or he's searching for these logs. So I don't want him to look at the patient name or if there is any other PIA information. So let's look at how we are going to do that. Let me log in again. Let's go to field filters, new field filter. So I'll be naming it as patient filter. Description could be hiding patient name from restricted users. Target index, healthcare index, limit type. So limit type, you can select any. Um, I'll use source type. Healthcare log. Field type would be raw this time. So since the fields are coming from the raw data directly, and it is not an indexed field. Now, for raw, to apply the field filter to the raw data, we would use the set method, the set CMD. So we would be using the S type. Then regex value could be patient name is the regex value equals to the word. Then replacement we can do, yeah, patient name as hidden. Um, and we can select the command modifier as global, that it would select the whole regex. And if we are selecting number, like we will be like we put $1 or $2 to match the particular text to replace it. So like that. So I'm currently selecting global and I'll do next. So again, like I would be exempting this filter from the admin role. Next, and create. So after creating, I'll quickly do a debug refresh. Mhm. Sorry, it's taking few seconds more. Cool. So I'll be again looking at the data here. And when I search for the index, since it is an admin user, it should just give me a minute. Since it is an admin user, it is not hiding the patient name or applying the field filter on this. But if I log in using the restricted user, that is um, Marcus, let me look at the data from his account. And so it is currently replaced at patient name as hidden. Now, there is another way. So, since the field is not coming here, like it is not an indexed field, it's not. Um, we have not applied the indexed time field extractions here. These are just like from the raw data. We are currently masking the field, or let's say applying the field filter. But in case you have the field extractions on during the index time, you may have to create a field extraction. You may have to create a field filter on the indexed field as well, and from the raw field as well. Let's say like this patient name was getting extracted at the index time, so it would also appear in the interesting fields here. So in that case, for those kind of fields, we would have to create field filters, one for the indexed one, specifically for this patient name or any other that you want to mask or apply the field filter for, and then same you have to create for the raw data. I hope that that is clear. And if you have any questions, do let me know before I proceed further to show the CLI method. Okay, I assume it's all good. Um, so let me move on to the other server that I have to showcase how I have enabled the field filter and how we can apply the field filtering from the CLI. So this was the web, and then we from the CLI. Um, Again, the same thing. So we would be moving to etc system local, and we have enabled the field filtering here in the limits.conf. So I have from the CLI, like while I'm doing it, I have to add a stanza search and role based field filtering, set it as true. Next is I'll go to the authorize.conf. So here, the authorize.conf will have all the roles, and the field filter stanza would be applied here to the authorize.conf stanza for every role. So let's go to this restricted role itself. I'll do all. And the way of writing is this field filter and hyphen. Let's select host equals to. If I want to delete it, I'll put null. That's how we do it. If we want to mask it, we will put SHA 256 or 512. And if I want to replace it with a string of some other characters, let's say I'll put XXX. I'll save it. But before, I want to show that the restricted user or the user that is created here, um, or if we have created or not, let me just look at this. Hmm. So yeah, Marcus is created here. Restricted role has been assigned to this user. And let me log in. What I'll do is I'll run a search. Index equals to, do we have value logs? Okay. Currently, I can see the host source and source type field in the Palo index as an admin user. And for hiding it for the restricted role, what I'll do is I'll apply field filter for the host as, oh, this is already applied. One second. Yeah, since I had to restart, I have also done a small POC before this session. So I'll quickly log out and I'll show you how it looks like from the restricted account. Search and recording. So since the filtering was already applied for this one, we will see that the host field is replaced with a set of X string characters, and either even in the events here is the user, the restricted user is not able to look at this, not able to see the value of host. So similarly, like this can be done for any indexed fields from here. But let's take an example. Let me, because I wanted to show you that the index field which is coming from raw data here, um, how it is also done. Mm, Do we have here any field? Yeah, give me a minute. Um, Venki, do we have here the data for in JSON format already on the Vultr server? Student 8 data, I think. So let me open it. Yeah. So I was showing that this that the fields here. Why it is not showing here? The fields here, for example, this interesting field, application ID. Currently, it has some values, and this is coming as indexed fields since we have enabled the index extractions as JSON, and these are also getting extracted from the raw. Like this is the raw event. So these are getting extracted from the raw event here. So for in these cases, we have to create field filter for both. Both that would be for the indexed fields as well as from here. So how we will do is we will be for the restricted role. Let's see. So for the indexed field, we already saw like we will be creating it like this field filter hyphen application ID. We will set it to XXX. And for the field from raw data, what we would do is we will write it as field filter hyphen underscore raw, and we will follow the said expression here. So it would be s slash the regex. That would be, let's say, this one. And then we have a set of characters. So like this, we will just, for checking, we will do dot star and slash comma and slash. Yep. So this is the field, this is S. Then the regular expression that would match the raw part of the raw event that we want to modify. Let's modify it with, what we will do is we will modify it with application ID as, let's say, hidden, and slash star quotes ending and then comma. Yep. So not this one. Yeah. So for the indexed fields, which are getting extracted at the index time, we will create a field filter for the index field as well as and we also want to replace the raw event where the field is appearing. So this is how we will do it. X. Sorry. Yep. So once we save this, we will have to restart the system. So I'll just put it on restart and we can continue the session and we will look at it at the last. Okay. Now, yep. So that was what I wanted to show for the demo. Next is we will quickly look at the key use cases for RBFF. Yep. So, as we understand that it is a powerful feature, the role-based field filtering that allows administrators to control access to specific fields in Splunk's data. Um, it would really help to enhance both data security and performance by ensuring that users only see the data that they really need to see. So these are the few use cases where the role-based field filtering can be extremely helpful. Firstly, certain fields might contain sensitive information. So by using RBFF, we can ensure that users with a specific roles do not have access to those sensitive fields, and it can also help meet the compliance requirements like GDPR or HIPAA. Um, then it limits the access to internal data, so not everyone should be allowed to view the IP addresses, server names, etc. It also simplifies the user experience by limiting the visibility of fields that are irrelevant to the user's role. So basically, you're reducing the clutter in the search results and making the Splunk interface user friendly, more user friendly, I would say. Next is we can create custom views for different roles, role specific data visibility. So many organizations, they have different users, different teams. So they have different responsibilities, and thus they need to view different types of data. Hence, RBFF allows you to tailor views for specific roles. Uh, Limiting access based on the sensitivity of data. So for example, a manager want to see certain aggregated data fields like summary fields, while a developer might have access to more detailed logs but not sensitive production data like user passwords or transaction details. So this is a scenario where we can apply multiple field filters, right? Next is if we can apply data redaction or masking on sensitive information. So if any kind of financial information is appearing on the logs, we can kind of limit it to specific roles. It will also enhance or optimize the search performance. See if a large amount of data includes many irrelevant or unused fields. Filtering out necessary fields for certain users can help optimize performance by reducing the amount of data. So then we field based segregation of duties. So RBFF can be really useful to enforce a segregation of duties by ensuring that users in one role cannot see fields relevant to other roles, right? um, Last is like enabling the safe data sharing across teams. So again, like as an example, um, a sales role might have access to marketing campaign data, but may not have access to any customer support data. So again, we are ensuring with the help of RBFF that sensitive customer interactions are kept private. Um, Customization of dashboards and alerts, again, like based on the roles, we can create these customized views that displays only relevant fields for each role. So yeah, these are few of the use cases that we can implement in Splunk environments. The summary, like so what we have seen today is role-based field filtering is extremely beneficial for protecting the sensitive data, meeting the regulatory compliance, reducing the data overload and clutter. We can also optimize the search performance, and it supports role-specific access control for enhanced security and privacy. Now, best practices, we need to clearly define the roles based on business needs. This would prevent unnecessary access to sensitive information. Then, limiting the number of fields that users can see will not only improve the security but also like help performance. So, for example, too many fields can slow down searches. We all have seen that. So, it make it difficult for users to find the relevant data. Um, Next is like again, like least privilege principle. So for instance, a financial analyst doesn't need to see system admin fields like internal IP addresses. um, One of the best practices would be to document the RBFF configuration, because it's really easy to lose track of which fields have been filtered. Of course, we can look at the field filters created, and I also wanted to show you, like when you are creating the field filters via web, there is a field filters.conf file in the backend which is getting updated. So we will look at how the stanzas look like as well at the backend after this. um, so we can also like apart from that, like having those details in the configuration files or from the web settings, we can keep detailed documentation to help understand the access control structure. And lastly, the after implementation RBFF, regularly test and audit the roles and permissions that you have created, since you want to be sure that users can not only, they cannot um, access the field that they're not allowed to, and no unintended information is exposed. So yeah, we have some troubleshooting tips as well. Since we were doing the POC, I came across few things. So I did troubleshooting, and what were the main troubleshooting steps that I followed, and which were really helpful, is that configuration files were not applying correctly. So I need to deploy them, writing the stanzas correctly, or creating the filters correctly, or making sure the regular expression that we are creating is really correct and following the data that we need to, mask or apply the field filter on. Then there could be some permissions conflict. And yeah, there is one more thing. So there is role inheritance. So I have, since for example, there is as an example, the user is inheriting, or the restricted user is inheriting the user role. So whatever um, how the role filtering would be like field filtering would be applicable in the part of in the like if we have inheritance, role inheritance. So always like local comes first, like local is given the precedence in Splunk. So even if the role is inherited by another role, the local field filtering that is applicable to it will take priority if it is applied on the same field. Like if there are different masking strings that you have applied, but the local would always take priority, and the global one would be um, like it would be next to the local one. So I hope that is clear to all. And if you have any questions, do let me know. Meanwhile, I'll also share the field filtering that we had applied via the UI, via the CLI, sorry. Any questions so far?
No, Varsha.
I hope I was able to, I wanted to share this field filtering and how it is applied or implemented. So I hope I was able to, share that and help you understand how it is done. And yeah. Let me-
Yeah, thanks for sharing that. That was really interesting. It sounds like this is all it's still global per role. Is that right? It's not you can't just also limit it per. Oh well, you did actually in the UI use it limited by the index as well. So be interesting to play around with that more. Thank you.
Thank you for the feedback. I guess I made some mistake. Like I said, troubleshooting the regular expression is not correctly entered here. So yeah, that is the reason I'm not able to run this search. But yeah, like I said, to apply the field filter for any field that is being extracted on the index time and is a part of the raw data, you have to use the set expression um, for both the raw as well as the index. So try to fix it. Meanwhile, yeah, if there's anything from anyone else, do let me know.
Yeah, thank you, Varsha.
All right. Since I missed the flag here, I'm sorry. The set expression missed. There is no flag that I had entered here. So probably that is the reason it is giving an error. Yeah. Also, the field filters.conf looks something like this. So for every filter that you had created, there would be a stanza in the backend field filters.conf, which would have the action in index, the limit that you'll be applying, and the role exemptions in case you have any. So that's how it looks like. This will be taking few minutes, but um,
I don't remember in the beginning. I know you went over some exceptions, but does this support federated search as well?
um, federated. So the data of federated search is running from the data on the data that is kept on the AWS S3 buckets. So these are not indexed data. Venkatesh, if you have any inputs on the same, feel free to share. But I believe like this is not indexed data which we have kept on the S3 bucket. So we may um, but this is not even coming on the raw. Like the data from federated buckets are not even showing in the raw data fails. So I think it won't be applicable, but I'll double check on that. And do you know, Venki, do you have any answer to that? So are you working on federated search right now? Um, Sorry, who was that?
Oh, sorry,
Mike.
this is Mike. Yeah,
Yes.
hey, we have some federated customers in some of our deployments, and I was just curious if it was supported that way, and if not, I mean, it's not a big deal. I mean, we would be able to just modify the role on the corresponding side as well. I'd just be interesting to know if it supported it from a federated search standpoint.
Sure, yeah, we will also be looking into it, like how it is done. But I'm since like I have done some testing on the federated data and how it is, coming from the S3 bucket. So I think it won't be supported, but I cannot say for sure. So yeah, we will have to check.
No worries. Thanks again. Appreciate it.
Right. Then I think there was something related to the regular expression that I'm missing, but yeah, that is all I wanted to share for the demo today. Let me know if you have any other questions, or we can drop off then. Right. Thank you, Leo. Thank you, Mike. Thank you, Basavraj, and thank you, DiCaprio. Thank you for
Thank
joining.
you. Thank you.
Take care, everyone.
Take care, folks.